I was 15, and my best friend, Debbie, and I were at her place hanging out together. It was a third-floor apartment with a walk-up and no elevator. We played music, danced, talked girl talk for hours. At about 10 p.m., we decided to call a friend and use the phone in her mom's bedroom. I was sitting on the edge of her bed and could see into the living room, more or less, where the TV was on its stand. The heavy drapes behind the TV were bulged out, and as my eyes slowly followed it down, I noticed a pair of men's shoes just barely poking out. I whispered to Debbie not to hang up, and told her to look. She did, and all the color just drained from her face. She looked like she was going to start screaming and crying. So I told the guy we were talking to, and he told us to put the phone down, not hang up, and run out of the apartment. You know how in nightmares, there's always this long hallway you can never get to the end of? Well, that's what it felt like. Her living room and Mom's room were at the end of the hall, so we had to run down her long hallway to get to the door, which we did, and then down the 3 flights of stairs, out the front door, and across the field. We were at the front of the house. We hid there on the porch in the dark, watching her apartment and the staircase, which had windows between each floor. It seemed like forever, but was probably only minutes, when this big guy came out of her apartment door, walked down the stairs and opened the front main door. He stood there, looked around, and then walked down the alley between her apartment and our friend Louise's house and disappeared. After a few minutes, the guys in the neighborhood came walking down the street, and we ran up to them to tell them what happened. They took off running to find him, but never did. We all went up to her apartment. They checked it over and found the window to the fire escape slightly open. It was then that Debbie started crying hysterically. Sad part was that she was more worried and scared about what her mom was going to do. She was a single mom, German and very strict, and would somehow blame her for it. Same with my parents, Eastern Europeans, who were strict, believed in beatings, and parents you could never go to, even with problems. Somehow her mom did find out that evening, called the police, and as a result, Debbie got a beating and got grounded for 2 weeks. She had to stay with her grandparents up the street, but it was okay. I could visit, and they must have owned every record from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. We still managed to hang out, sing and dance to our favorite tunes. My worst nightmare never came true. My parents never found out. I thanked my lucky stars, but it was a close call. For months, every time I saw a big guy, I had to take a second look. It was a long time before I could go to sleep at night, without checking under my bed and my closet. This horrible incident still gives me creeps.